Good evening, everybody. It's nice to have you here as chairman of the National Maritime Historical Society. And on behalf of my fellow trustees, I thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight, what we will do is to review the Society's activities and accomplishments over the past year and look ahead to the future. Our mission is to preserve and promote America's maritime heritage and its relevance in today's world through education, preservation, and advocacy. Because beyond the obligations laid out in our bylaws for an annual meeting, which we're having tonight, for the organization to continue to flourish and grow, it's important that we share ideas and chart the Society's course for our future. Our members are the cornerstone of our success, and we appreciate your support here tonight. First of all, I'd like to ask our colleague, Captain Jeffrey McAllister, to present the Secretary's report and approval of the minutes of last year's 2024 annual business meeting. For that meeting last year, you may recall that we were driving up mountains, but it's a lot more careful here tonight. So Jeff, are you able to call and speak to us and call for a motion?
I think I just saw him enter. Heather, can you see if he's on the call?
It looks like he is.
How about that? Better?
Hey,
there you go.
All right,
Hi,
I am
Jeff.
struggling with this. Okay. All right. I have read the minutes and they are fine. I ask for a motion to approve them.
And do I hear a second? A second. And vote, please. Raise your
Yeah.
hands or say yes.
Yep, we'll just do a hand
Yes.
raise vote.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's all approved. Well, thank you, Jeff. And as we approach our 63rd anniversary, we envision our rich maritime heritage woven into the national fabric of America's past, present, and future. Now it is my pleasure to present on behalf of nominations of new trustees, our nominations chair, Denise Krepp, and the slate of trustees for election in class of 2025. So, Denise, would you be kindly enough to introduce our new, hopefully our new trustees?
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, folks. Greetings from Washington, D.C. And I'm super excited to introduce you to four individuals. First one is Matt Brooks. Most of you know him as the yachtsman and a pilot and an entrepreneur, and he and his late wife received the 2019 NMHS Distinguished Service Award. Then there's Peter McCracken, who's a librarian at Cornell, and a lot of you know him for his work on the ship index. So if you're looking for something, looking for a person, looking for a ship, you can find it on Ship Index. Then we also have Brandon Phillips, who's been in the maritime industry for about 20 years. He's served in every role on the inland waters, from barge sweep to deckhand to captain, and now he's a compliance manager. And I sure enjoy getting conversations with him when he calls me. He's driving along the Mississippi River. That's always a fun conversation to have with him. And then we have Kamal Siddiqui, who's on the board of directors of Diving with a Purpose. And Diving with a Purpose is an organization that is teaching African American students how to dive, and they're helping find the transatlantic African slave ships, including the last one that came in Mobile. So those are the four individuals. They're all really good, solid, just solid members of the maritime industry. So I'm excited to introduce them. And now it's over to you, Jim.
Thank you, Denise. I hereby make a motion to elect the slate of new trustees standing for election. All those in favor, say aye or raise your hands. Any opposed? Hearing no objections, it is my privilege to present you the National Maritime Historical Society's trustee class of 2025. So I will clap for that. And that's great. Hold on a second, I'm losing here. And now for the trustees for re-election. Denise, you want to introduce yourself and two other trustees?
Yeah, sure. So hi, my name is Denise. I'm running to be a trustee. And then we have Rick Lopes, who, gosh, guys, you all know him from his amazing videos that he does every year for the Denners. And then we also have Richard O'Leary. So again, it's just the three of us have been part of this organization for years, and that is my cat. Yes, he is photobombing us now. I'm just please support the three of us for running for a re-election again. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And Rich O'Leary, by the way, is a lawyer, and he doesn't come to many of our meetings, but he does a lot of things for us, which you may not know about. So it's good to have him. So I will motion again for this slate of trustees for standing for re-election. All in favor, raise their hands or say aye. Is my hand. Any opposed? So again, hearing no objections, it is my privilege to present to you the National Maritime Historical Society's trustee class of 2025. So I will pause that fact. And that's great. So thank you for your participation, everybody. It's now my pleasure to introduce NMHS President Kathy Green. Kathy, it's all yours.
You, Jim. And thank you all for being here tonight. This is a little different setup than we usually do. Don't fret, we'll have an opportunity for an in-person gathering later this year at the Maritime Heritage Conference in September, which you'll hear about shortly. But we wanted to make sure that not just for the sake of our bylaws, but to update our membership, to be able to have an opportunity to reach more people on a digital platform. So that's what we're here to do tonight. I'll commence with a state of the organization presentation. This shouldn't take more than 25 minutes, although my staff was pretty sure I couldn't pull that off. So we'll say half hour tops. And then we're going to hand it over to Charles Anderson, who has a fantastic presentation about SS United States, her history and her state today. But first, let me just update you on what's happening with NMHS. If you have comments, let me just set a couple ground rules here. If you have comments, please use the chat function of Zoom. We have everybody muted right now, just because we have such a crowd here and it becomes a little difficult if folks kind of keep jumping in and unmuting with background noise. So please put your questions in the chat. We'll save those to the end. And if we're running late on time, we can always address those in our monthly newsletters. So without further ado, let me jump right into this. The presentation tonight to explain everything we're doing, and it's a lot. We're using the framework of our strategic plan. We adopted this in December 2024, the board working group. We are also working with an outside strategic planner, and I jumped into the process last June when I started. So we're using that 3-year plan to group the different activities that we'll be talking about tonight. First and foremost, we had slight additions or changes to our mission and vision statements. Our mission, the National Maritime Historical Society preserves and promotes America's maritime heritage and its relevance in today's world through education, preservation, and advocacy. It's that relevancy piece that we included. Our vision, we envision our rich maritime heritage woven into the national fabric of America's past, present, and future. Again, trying to tie maritime heritage into the larger picture of American history, and also not just the past, but how it affects us today and looking into the future. Our plan has 6 strategic elements: organizational excellence, membership, strategic alliances, communications and branding, publishing legacy, and online engagement, as well as overall national engagement. So a lot of the things I'll talk about have overlaps into these different categories, but you'll see how they come together into these 6 different strategic elements. Organizational excellence, of course, the heart and soul of this organization are the people who work here. Who is that? A lot of you talk to a number of these folks regularly. But in our Peekskill headquarters, there's Vice President Wendy Paggiata, Finance Manager Andrea Ryan, Education Manager Heather Purvist, Membership Coordinator Marianne Pagliaro, Senior Staff Writer Shelley Reed, and of course, our Ambassador and President Emerita Birchie Green. Now, you may not know this, but we have several other offices. Our Cape Cod office, of course, our longtime Vice President and Editor-in-Chief of See History Magazine, Deirdre O'Regan, is out there. Now, she is not with us tonight because she is out in Colorado in Boulder watching her youngest son graduate. So here's a few shots from that this morning. So congratulations to Grady and the Andrews O'Regan family. Any of us who have kids in that stage of life know what a big milestone that is. Now, our Great Lakes office, that's where I am. I'm on the shores of Lake Michigan in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And then we now have a West Coast office. Our Deputy Director and West Coast Liaison, Susan Serrata, is out in the San Diego area. If you haven't met Susan yet, you will in the coming months. Susan's a longtime senior staff member at the Maritime Museum of San Diego, and she joined us earlier this year. We are so excited to what she's going to bring to the organization, especially with some of these initiatives we'll talk about tonight. A quick word about finances. Just a few key pieces looking at last year. You can see here the different categories of where our income comes in. You can see our largest area is contributions. Now, I will say we had an unusual influx of those contributions last year. This is, of course, is a fantastic thing. In part because of a few key bequests and donations, as well as absorbing the resources and the mission of the Friends of the San Francisco Maritime Library, which we'll touch on a little later. This put us tremendously ahead of our budget, but you can see how the breakdown goes here. So our events, that dark blue there is a key piece. Purple is membership, and then blue is fundraising appeals. So you can see that how crucial all those pieces are to making a singular healthy organization. And looking last year at our income budget versus actuals, and so you'll see we're pretty close, a little ahead or a little behind on most of these. Again, way outperformed in that contribution category from these one-time events. And that also demonstrates how one positive or one negative influx can really affect our organization. Education, you'll see at the bottom, is a standout, and that's because we had been anticipating grant funds to come in that didn't come through. But it was a project that we could hold back that expense as well. So we're in pretty good shape. Looking at over the year when funds are coming in and when they're being expended. Expended is the orange line, the blue one is income. So you can see we're pretty close. We're operating at a pretty steady pace. That one big, wonderful mountain you'll see there in August, that's that one large donation. However, what you'll see is that through much of the year, our expenses do outpace our income, and that's not something we want to see happening in the long term. So a lot of what we're looking at in this category of organizational excellence is a business plan and a robust development plan to make sure we can have not only the income, but the cash flow throughout the year to keep us in a healthy place. So to do that, our development department, which is basically everybody on staff, we're going to be working even harder to try to bring in everything from grants to individual donations to corporate support. And one of the things we're most excited about are new categories of membership that'll really diversify our revenue. Oop. So that next strategic element is membership. Here's some interesting statistics. So looking at the last couple of years, we're hovering just over 5,000 members. You'll see we had quite a few more last year. Why is that? Well, we had a promotion at the end of 23 for our 60th anniversary, where I think it was 10 memberships for the price of one. And so we got a lot of new members on the rolls, which is fantastic. Getting our magazine, getting See History into as many people's hands as possible is key. It's such a great product. And so again, we saw a big bump in membership. When it came around to renewing, there was a smaller percentage of folks that renewed. We're trying a number of new initiatives this year, including discounted memberships at different conferences with different organizations, as well as reaching out to new groups to try to increase that membership. It's a really key piece to who we are. Our membership levels, you can see it's distributed fairly equally around different areas, that friend and above. And you'll see here those different levels. We'd like to grow that one, of course, for those higher level memberships. Now, this was really great, and thank you to Marianne for pulling this graphic out. Really interesting to note that, and probably not surprising to most of you, most of our membership, almost half of it, is in the Northeast. That's where we started, and that's where most of our members, our strongest membership is. Southeast, so that includes DC, Virginia. We have quite a few members down there as well, and then distributed around the rest of the country, Midwest, Southwest, and then the West Coast region is a much smaller percentage. Now, as a national organization, these are things we're really want to take note of, and that'll help us to determine where we're putting our effort in trying to grow our membership. We know where we need to look for those new members. Now we have member events. So exclusive things like the dinner cruise that's coming up this September 26th, and this is during the Maritime Heritage Conference. This is exclusive to NMHS members only. Again, we want to make sure we still have face-to-face opportunities to get together. So please, please, please mark those calendars for Buffalo this September. We'll have a little more information about that, about the conference. But whether you attend the whole event or just want to join us for this wonderful dinner cruise, we'd love to see as many of our members, our trustees, our overseers, and supporters as possible. Information about how to join that is on our website, or you could call the office, and any of the folks there can give you all the details and reserve you a seat. Now, something else we're really excited about, and we hope this is just the first of many opportunities that we'll have to get together on expeditions, on different trips, all different kinds of trips in different places all over the country and all over the world. But this one we're very excited about. This is in partnership with American Cruise Lines, which we've done trips before with. But what we're doing this time is we're enhancing their regular content with maritime heritage, extra maritime heritage content and expertise, and shoreside excursions. So Bob Steelquist is going to be our onboard expert. He's a naturalist, a historian, ornithologist. He's written extensively on the history and the natural environment of the Pacific Northwest. So he'll be with us on the whole cruise. I really encourage everybody to come and do this. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. American Cruise Lines is exploring this kind of maritime heritage-specific cruise, and we want to demonstrate that there's a market. There are people who want to do this. and it's going to be an awful lot of fun. And of course, our main get together, one of the ones that's been around the longest, and I think people enjoy the most, is our annual awards dinner in New York City at the Yacht Club there. This year, the event is 23rd October, and this is new news. This is not released into the wild yet. We are honoring three people and organizations this year. American President Lines, which is a storied American shipping line, over 175 years in business, from carrying mail on the West Coast on sailing vessels to today being a key player in shipping today in this country. And another thing that we're really excited to be able to honor them about is not only their history, but their role today. They're dedicated to bringing over 20 vessels back under American flag. So they're, again, I think a great example of not only history, but of how our maritime heritage is carrying through to today. Another honoree this year is Leslie Kohler. She's here in the Great Lakes. She's not only a sailor, but she's a philanthropist, and her focus is making sure sailing is accessible to all, and whether that's youth sailing or whether that's providing opportunities for folks who have physical challenges. She's done a fantastic job of starting and running an organization that provides wonderful opportunities for people to get on the water. And finally, Captain Jonathan Bacon Smith, JB, is a seminal figure in sail training and has been for decades. He's trained a generation of sailors, and we couldn't be more pleased to honor him. And I think what is a very representative slate of folks who can be examples for what's possible in the maritime community. Our next area that I want to touch on is strategic alliances. And these strategic alliances you'll see in these examples. I'm not being exhaustive here. I'm looking for examples that draw out what this strategic element means. These alliances help drive our efforts. And you'll see from the things that we're doing this year are often tied to some of these alliances, some of these partners who have come on board one way or another. So I mentioned before the Friends of the San Francisco Maritime Library. They're an organization that had been working out there for decades, actually started by Carl Cordum, one of our founders as well. And when they were looking for someone else to carry on their legacy, they turned to us. And again, I have to give credit to Birchie Green for working for a very long time with them to come to an agreement where we took on not only their resources, but their mission as well. And that's basically to preserve, promote, and elevate West Coast maritime heritage. And that's allowed us to up our efforts on engagement and strengthening our network beyond the Northeast and the East Coast. And Susan's position out on the West Coast is a direct effect of that mandate with that partnership. Another one, a key one that I think many of you here are familiar with, the National Maritime Alliance, NMA, was started by another one, a longtime trustee of ours, Dr. Tim Runyon. And they've been planning these Maritime Heritage Conferences for decades now. We were working with the Alliance very closely on planning the Maritime Heritage Conference that's taking place this fall. And Tim unexpectedly passed away this January. And we have continued to work with the Alliance to fold them into what we're doing. with our strategic plan, we had already stressed that advocacy was part of what we do, and that was the core of what they worked for all these years as well. So they are now, that's part of that strategic alliance that is driving us not only to hold this conference, but for increased advocacy efforts and our affiliate member program as well. And finally, the alliance I would like to mention here, the Naval Historical Foundation. Of course, they dissolved a few years ago, but we have been able to take on some of the functions that they had been doing, some of their mission with the Naval Heritage content, partnerships, and publications you may have seen. And a few people have come to me noting that there's all this additional naval content. It's not that we are shifting our focus. We're folding in these maritime heritage functions into what we're doing. And this is largely thanks to one of our board members, Dave Winkler, who is carrying the torch, as it were, with a number of efforts you'll see here in the next slide. Partnerships, we've been participating in several of these naval events over the past year, and will continue to do so this year. Nope. And then 2 publications in particular. The first one, Tuesday Tidings, is a weekly naval heritage email that comes out. Probably most of you get it if you're on our mailing list. And that again is the content there is pulled together largely by Dave, and then also by Jesse Henderson, who happened to be one of our National History Day Prize winners a number of years ago. And this is another exciting thing that has just come into being the last few months. We are now publishing the International Journal of Naval History. This is a peer-reviewed journal that's been around for 25 years, but needed a new home. And so we've worked with Dave and another group that's working as editors and content folks on that journal. And we've worked with our web designer as well to come up, I think, with a really nice digital publication that's going to be coming out 3 times a year. If you haven't looked at it yet, please go to the website. It's a really fantastic publication that we're glad that we could keep out there in the world. I've mentioned our organizational membership program. This is so places like museums, historic vessels, naval ships, lighthouses, academic programs, you name it, has one umbrella to fall under. We can work together, and we can also share information. Some of the online resources we're developing, you can see here that will be benefits of being an organizational member. We're doing a soft launch of this program this summer, going to our friends and our longtime colleagues. We've already presented this at the Council of American Maritime Museums. Next week, I'll be presenting it at the North American Society for Oceanic History meeting, and we'll continue to extend this opportunity to those organizations we've worked with for years, up until the Maritime Heritage Conference in September, where we will launch it fully out into the world. Just a few words about communications and branding. We are, for better or for worse, in large a media company, or that's certainly part of what we do. So we need to be efficient, and we need to be regular in our communications, and also our branding, how we look, how we are presenting ourselves in the world. One way we're doing that is our regular communications. We now have a monthly digital newsletter on the horizon. Tuesday Tidings, which I mentioned before, and also See History Today, which is original research that comes out monthly. So we have these regular digital resources. You can see we're trying very hard to have a unified look and feel. We've done the same with the website. But what we're going to continue to do is work with both internally and externally to continue discussions on our brand, on how we communicate, how we present ourselves in the world. And over the next 12 to 18 months, we'll be further refining that and making sure that we're maximizing our impact of all this wonderful work that we do. Publishing legacy and I don't know why I have a problem putting those words together. Publishing legacy and online engagement. This is a key strategic element for us. Of course, See History is the heart of the content and how people know us in the world. So here's the covers from the last 4 issues. I think they're absolutely spectacular visually, but the content itself has been wonderful as well. You see here some of the ships that we've featured, as well as some of the biographies and the people we've featured as well over the last year. Again, I hope everybody here gets See History delivered right to their house. But if you don't, it's also available online. And that's a great thing to share with folks when you talk about our organization. One of the things that is most effective for us digitally is our See History for Kids section. It's in the magazine every issue, but for this section in particular, we don't just put the PDF up online like we do of the whole magazine. We turn this into its own web page, which makes it a lot easier to search and find. And so our top 17 out of 20 web pages on our website are in See History for Kids. So we know that content is reaching people. We know that's an area we want to continue to develop. What's on the horizon? Our next issue, the summer issue, is in production right now. Some of the topics we'll be talking about in the next couple issues. You see here, you see the nuclear ship Savannah, steam yachts at war, and as well as we'll be doing a story on the Erie Canal, of course, with the 200th anniversary coming up. And usually at our annual meeting, we present the Rodney Houghton Award for Best Feature Article in See History. This year, we decided to, instead of doing it here online, we want to do it in person. So we're going to be awarding this at the Maritime Heritage Conference in Buffalo in September. And new this year, we have a committee that usually gets together to determine that best feature article. But we also want to give a voice to our members as well, to our readers. So over the summer, keep your eyes out for an opportunity for you to weigh in about what you think the top article is, and that will be factored in with our committee as we pick those top articles and announce it in September. Of course, publication, the magazine is what everybody's familiar with, but See History Press. We publish books and monographs and all sorts of other things. And 2 things on the horizon here. Our former trustee and overseer, Rear Admiral Joseph Callow, has a book that we will be publishing in the coming months, Harbors of the Mind. This is everything from observations, remembrances, poetry, and it's a really fantastic way that Rear Admiral Callow has been able to share his vast experiences. We're very excited about that. Another one on the horizon, and this is thanks to our brand new trustee, Peter McCracken. Again, as Denise mentioned, Ship Index and doing maritime research, especially online, has been Peter's expertise and passion for many years. He is working on a monograph that will serve as a guide to doing maritime history research. And we will be working with him both to have some of that content available online and to publish that monograph as well. This will be used by researchers, genealogists. It's really going to be a fantastic tool, and it's a function that we can and need to have as that National Maritime Heritage Organization. Of course, print is one way to communicate. Certainly, documentaries are another way. Rick Lopes, our vice chair, has been working on this fantastic documentary on schooner Ernestina Morrissey, and it is in its final stages. So as he shoots those final scenes and does the editing, we will be working with him to make sure those final pieces of funding fall into place for the completion of that documentary forecast for the end of the year. Our seminar series, another way we get information out. This has become more and more popular. We're regularly getting 75 to 100 people every seminar. These are the ones we've done this year. And each one better than the other. So I encourage you, if you haven't, to tune into those. Anybody can do it. It is free. This is one of the great things about funding our organization writ large, is that we can provide access to our content for free wherever possible. Patrick O'Brien's seminar last week was absolutely fantastic. It was so incredibly interesting, and he's a fantastic speaker. So all these are recorded. So if you missed it, you can go back and find that on the website. Our next one, coming up the first Thursday in June, is centered around another digital component that's new for us this year that we're very excited about. And it's an online juried art exhibition and sale. This is the 2025 Art of the Sea, not expedition, exhibition. And this is similar to what we did in person at our DC dinner. We wanted to still be able to feature these artists and let more people have the opportunity to not only see, but to purchase some really fantastic marine art. We had over 325 submissions, and 44 of those are in the show. That'll be going up June 1st. And if you would like to talk to the winners of that exhibition, they will be our first Thursday seminar speakers. So stay tuned for that. All right, finally, national engagement. Ooh, I'm not doing so great on time, but I'm keeping going, Heather, don't worry. So national engagement, this is our last effort, and I just want to make sure that we touch on some of these key pieces that we've been working so hard on. The conference I've mentioned several times. If you haven't been to one of these, the last one was in New Orleans, and I know a lot of you were there because NMHS was a big part of that meeting as well. And many of your trustees and supporters were there. This is a conference, if you haven't been, which brings together all those different segments of the maritime community. Again, this is one of the key things that Tim Chan Zucker and those founders of the National Maritime Alliance believed, that sharing information across those different sectors of our industry, as well as talking together about key issues that affect us all, this was incredibly worthwhile, and we agree, which is why we're carrying this on. This is also going to be the home of the Historic Naval Ships Annual Symposium, which they do every fall. So that's a good key group that's going to be there. But again, I really encourage everyone to be there. We'll have a trustees meeting. And as mentioned before, we'll have some special member events there as well. And thank you to Susan, who is heading up the team bringing this together. Also, as far as national engagement, this is an event that's happening in New York, in the Manhattan and areas around. The Parade of Sail. This is an op-sail-like event that's going to be taking place next summer, July 4th, 2026, commemorating 250th anniversary of our country. As in former op-sail events, NMHS is taking a lead role in the education component for that. Thank you, Birchie, who has been sitting on their board and representing us for many years, and has helped put us at the forefront of being a part of this really important event. Even though it's in New York, it has national impact. And so our education pieces are going to be both local and expansive and national. It'll include an online component for resources and a hub tying together a lot of the different pieces of Sailforth 250. We'll also be working with local partners to get students on board vessels for the Parade of Sail, which is the centerpiece of the whole event. So we're very excited about this. Stay tuned for details of that. We're continuing our role in National History Day, both with state maritime prizes and nationally with Distinguished Teacher Awards. This is a fantastic program, and several of our trustees have really taken this on as something, as an important component of what we do. It's really fantastic. From an advocacy point of view, this is something we're adding this year, but I'm very excited about this. Capitol Hill Ocean Week is something I've been involved with for many years from my time with the National Marine Sanctuary Program. This is a forum in Washington, D.C., where legislators and deciders get to see different topics that are key to the maritime world today. And that's certainly not just maritime heritage, but having maritime heritage as a voice at that platform and on the main stage there is something that really should and needs to happen. So we will be there. We're one of the featured speakers and also taking part in all of the surrounding events for that. That's the first week of June. If you're not familiar with it, Google it, Capitol Hill Oceans Week or CHOW, and you can see what that's all about. But NMHS is going to be right there front and center. And another piece of advocacy. We know that nationally, recent federal and state actions are impacting maritime organizations. But because these actions are kind of far-flung and in different areas, there's no one place that maritime organizations have been able to talk about what is happening at a particular museum, a ship, a library. And so we decided to provide that forum as the national voice for maritime heritage on our website. So if you go to our website and you go under resources, you can see this. And we are reaching out to our partners. It's simply a survey. When the results come in, we will vet those and post those online on a regular basis, just to be able to catalog what is happening. We think that's an important role that we can play. So that's a lot of information, but I wanted to leave us with a call to action. What can you do? You're here tonight. That's the main thing. But we want you to come on board, not just as a member, but we want you to be a part of our events. We want you to contribute to our vision. So being a part of any of our committees, volunteering, we have volunteer opportunities all around the country. So please, again, contact us and we'll continue to get information out about how you can do that. Investing in NMHS and our programs. That can come in many ways, certainly through donations, through our legacy giving circle. And again, we hope you will be an advocate for us. And that's by just telling who we are, sharing the magazine, bringing other people in. That's the best way that you can help us grow, is just share what you love about this organization. So thank you for making our work possible. We really appreciate all that you do for us. Our supporters have brought us 60+ years, and we're counting on you to keep us going for 60 more.